night, the fear, the shape is here.
Iron Studios presents Halloween 2, Michael Myers, Limited Edition, Deluxe 1/10th Scale Statue. Produced in Polystone, this collectible is based on the 1981 horror classic Halloween 2, which picks up immediately after the events of the original 1978 Halloween film. In fact, the story begins on the very same night that Michael Myers was shot by Dr. Loomis and disappeared into the darkness. This statue faithfully captures the character's dark and menacing presence in a composition that conveys tension and realism. The piece features detailed paintwork, premium finishing, and meticulous attention to the costume elements, including the iconic mask and signature coveralls, creating a striking representation for horror fans and collectors. We'll be diving into the sculpt, paint applications, screen accuracy, and whether this statue deserves a spot in your horror collection. So let's get into it.
Why won't he die?
Get away from him! But he stopped breathing! No!
First, let's take a look at the packaging. Iron Studios has done a great job with the presentation here. The artwork on the box is clean, premium looking, and instantly lets you know this is collector focused. Everything arrived well protected with plenty of foam and secure packaging. That's always something I appreciate, especially when you're dealing with detailed statues and fragile display elements. Sideshow Collectibles are now offering an option to double box your purchase, which I did select. According to Sideshow, the double box option may or may not affect your price depending on the purchase. As for me, I was not charged additional for the double boxing. Once you get everything out of the box, assembly is simple and straightforward. You just need to connect the dead officer to Michael first, and then place both pieces onto the base. Right out of the box, this statue has a strong presence. Michael Myers is one of the most iconic horror characters ever created, and Iron Studios really captures that intimidating, silent menace that makes him so memorable. Now let's talk about the deluxe base. Iron Studios is known for creating themed environments rather than simple display platforms, and that's exactly what they've done here. Iron Studios didn't just give Michael a simple display stand, they created an entire scene packed with references to the Halloween franchise. We have Judith Myers' grave beneath him, which is a major callback to Michael's tragic and violent past. There's also a carved pumpkin featuring a skull design, fallen Halloween candy, and perhaps the most dramatic element of the entire piece, a slain police officer being lifted by Myers with one hand. The police officer incorporated into the display is another reminder of how dangerous and relentless Michael becomes during the film. Throughout Halloween 2, nobody is truly safe, not doctors, nurses, police officers, or anyone who happens to cross his path. Let's talk about the sculpt, because this is where Iron Studios really showcases its craftsmanship. The first thing that immediately caught my attention was Michael Myers himself. His posture perfectly captures what makes the character so terrifying. He's not running, screaming, or striking an exaggerated action pose. Instead, he's standing with that calm, deliberate confidence that fans have come to associate with the shape. That quiet, emotionless presence is far more unsettling than any over-the-top action scene. The iconic mask has the slightly aged, weathered appearance seen in Halloween 2, with realistic contours and subtle imperfections that make it feel like a worn latex mask rather than a perfectly smooth surface. The sculpted hair has excellent texture and natural flow, adding another level of realism. Looking at the coveralls, the sculptors paid close attention to the fabric. Every wrinkle, fold, and crease feels natural, suggesting the weight and movement of real clothing. Instead of appearing stiff, the coveralls drape realistically over Michael's body, giving the statue a convincing sense of scale. One detail I especially appreciate is the sculpting of the hands. Michael's grip on the knife feels firm and deliberate, while the other hand effortlessly supports the weight of the fallen police officer. That contrast reinforces the character's unnatural strength and calm demeanor. Speaking of the police officer, his uniform is packed with detail, from the folds in the clothing to the duty belt, holster, boots, and equipment. Judith Meyer's gravestone features stone textures, chipped edges, and weathering that make it appear aged, and even the roses on the ground in front of the grave are a nice touch. The carved jack-o'-lantern with a skull design depicting the image from the Halloween 2 movie poster has deep grooves and sharp detailing. There is scattered candy and fallen leaves, which add small environmental touches that make the entire display feel alive. Now let's take a closer look at the paint application. Starting with the mask, there are subtle variations in the white paint that prevent it from looking flat or toy-like. Instead of a bright, clean white, the mask features weathering, shading, and aged tones that help recreate the worn appearance seen in Halloween 2. As you can see, the left side of the mask is lighter than the right. The right side has a dark gray tone. Also, the left side of his hair is brown, and the right looks more grayish. The eye sockets are particularly effective. The darker paint applications around the eyes create depth and help achieve that hollow, emotionless stare that made Michael Myers so unsettling on screen. Moving down to the coveralls, Iron Studios uses multiple shades of blue and dark brown throughout the outfit. This creates natural-looking shadows within the folds and wrinkles of the fabric and gives the clothing a realistic look. The subtle brown dirt effects throughout the outfit help communicate that sense of wear and use. The flesh tones on the exposed hand are also nicely done. You can see the bones and veins under his skin that add realism. Even the knife benefits from careful paintwork. The metallic finish catches the light well and provides a nice contrast against the darker colors. Another detail that really enhances the presentation is the paintwork on the slain police officer, especially the blood effects, which adds another layer of realism. The subtle weathering on the uniform, the natural shading in the fabric, and the convincing skin tones all help sell the illusion that this is a real person, frozen in a terrifying moment. Iron Studios handled this with a good amount of restraint. Rather than covering the entire figure in excessive gore, the blood application is strategically placed to tell the story without overwhelming the display. Blood effects complement the scene rather than dominate it. They're dramatic enough to communicate the brutality of Michael Myers' attack, but they're not so excessive that they become distracting. Combined with the officer's limp pose and Michael's emotionless expression, the blood effects help complete the storytelling. Every element works together to capture the aftermath of another encounter with the shape. Now let us go over the pricing. Both Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth have this Michael Myers 1/10 statue in stock. Big Bad Toy Store has it for $290, and Entertainment Earth has it for $250. As for Iron Studios, you will need to join the waitlist, and the price is not listed. And for Sideshow Collectibles, you would also need to join the waitlist, and the cost will be $255, but since I purchased this Michael Myers from here, I can tell you that my full price was $303.92. So expect possibly an additional $50 even if you buy one from a different store. Also, beware of additional fees due to tariffs, which, as you can see, Sideshow did include in my bill an extra $7.65. Let's go over some quick pros and cons. Pros: excellent sculpt work, great paint application, detailed deluxe base. It is a strong representation of the character, and I like that it is a limited edition and the price point is actually not bad. As far as size goes, the 1/10 scale works really well. It's large enough to showcase all the details, but it won't dominate your entire display shelf. My only cons are the dark paint on Michael's right hand and the dark gray shading on the right side of his mask. I wish Iron Studios had kept the right hand closer to the natural skin tone used on the left hand. When I first saw it, the darker paint looked a bit sloppy, almost like paint from the sleeve had accidentally gotten onto the back of the hand. After looking into it, I found out that all copies of the statue are painted the same way. I also was not a fan of the dark gray paint on the right side of Michael's mask, which I initially thought might be another paint mistake. One more thing I noticed is that his head looks a little narrow. Compared with the photo on the box, the head appears rounder in the promotional image. And as for screen accuracy, I think the photo on the box looks more screen accurate than the actual head sculpt of Michael. What do you think? So, is the Michael Myers limited edition deluxe 1/10 scale statue from Iron Studios worth it? For me, absolutely. The sculpting, paintwork, and especially the deluxe display base come together to create a diorama that feels premium from top to bottom. I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts. Are you picking this one up? Do you already have it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Judith's grave beneath his feet, a monument to evil, cold and complete. Pumpkin burning with a hellish glow, the harvest of fear from long ago. A fallen officer lifted high, another victim left to die. Frozen in time, but alive in our minds, a nightmare reborn for all mankind. No escape, no retreat, you hear destruction in his heartbeat. The shape never dies, rising through the shadows. The shape never dies, terror follows where he goes. From the grave to the slaughter, from the darkness he will rise. Michael Myers walks forever. The shape never dies.
Why won't he die?